Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey there. We're really excited about today's episode. A couple of very quick housekeeping things before we get started. Number one, this is going to be our last episode of the year. We're going to have 2 weeks off. So the next episode that's going to be in your feed is going to be January 12th. Look for it then. And then one other thing, there's a link in the show notes to the show, whether you're on YouTube or you're in your podcasting app. If you click on details in that app or YouTube, just look down below. There's a link there for Brooklyn's Brave Battle.
It's a friend of the pod, Trevor Smith. You know him as the guy who put too many things on a pizza.
Too many things.
So many things on the pizza. So his niece is going through a tough time right now. She's battling leukemia, and her family is looking for just a little bit of holiday support from you guys on her GoFundMe.
Yep. And so again, that link is currently in the show notes, and we are wishing Trevor's niece a speedy recovery. Anyway, thank you very much for everything, for listening.
We
for
love
donating,
you so much.
And fuck this place. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck this place!
On this Canada Hill spec script with Jason Webb. And then I'm also working on my pilot thing. And and then also planning trips home. Got to do Christmas shopping.
It's a busy time. You
Yeah.
would think, I know that everyone's ignoring every COVID thing ever. But you would think to be a little less busy, but it's busy.
Yeah, it's like the power of Christmas, like
The
it's
power
like
of Christmas.
not only does it dominate every other holiday,
Mhm.
but it
Just
like to the
dunks on every holiday.
yeah, for millennia.
Uh-huh.
Since the first Christmas,
Mhm.
it has been the WrestleMania of Christmases, of holidays, and
for sure.
and it's just like it's weird. It's just like Christmas is like, you think a pandemic is gonna stop us from filling your fucking little balls with Christmas cheer?
Did you see in the UK, they're doing this thing, which this is fucking, honestly, at least they're being honest about it. I think it's called like Christmas COVID amnesty, and it's just like 5 days around Christmas, so they're just like, it's basically like the COVID purge. They're just like, no lockdown, it's just whatever, guys, just do whatever you got to do, we will deal with the consequences.
Oh man,
insane.
that is so ridiculous, but it does make me laugh because it is like it is very yeah, dude, Christmas is tight.
It is
Christmas is the
Christmas
best.
time. It's the holiday time. You don't have to celebrate Christmas to listen to this podcast, but
No, you don't.
you are going to be a little disappointed, I think.
Yeah.
In just today's episode.
We're a Christmas pod. We don't force it on everyone. Just we force it on everyone who comes to us.
Well, it's like if you showed up to my house, like there's going to be a Christmas tree, And it's just the way it is. I mean, it's gonna be fake in my apartment.
Yeah,
it's gonna be real at my parents' house, and that's just the way it is.
You're gonna come to my place. You take off your shoes, and then you worship a fat guy in a red suit, and that's how it works.
Well, I guess I should intro the pod. Welcome to Fuck This Place, the podcast about jobs with Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and Chase. It is our Christmas episode.
It's our Christmas /holiday episode. Yes, we've got, it's a bonus ep. So, it's just me and you. It's like we're hanging in the break room.
We're just doing our thing, man.
So people know what they're in for. We have a little bit of a game up top, as we are wont to do. We also have a very lengthy, I wouldn't say very lengthy, but a bit lengthy for the end of an episode, extra special write-in. From a fellow named Ben, wherein we argue point for point the pros and cons of Papa Murphy's.
Oh man, Ben wrote back, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Came back. Another trash fest for old Nick.
Yeah.
I get it.
So that will be in this episode as well as a short holiday message, and that'll be it. Then you'll be off to your own COVID amnesty.
Oh, the great COVID amnesty of 2020.
So
that's the first
today.
first year of a great tradition.
And yeah, this is our second holiday episode. Last year, we looked at some holiday posts. We had our very first write-in for the podcast. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, from Ashley from Macayo.
Man, how far we've come. We've picked so many fights, and also had write-in people get COVID. Shout out to #JordanLives. He's doing all right. I did get a brief update.
Oh, I was gonna say,
just like a
Jordan?
text that said he's doing all right. So we're glad you're doing all right. Hope that's continuing, Jordan. It can be a very long. You get tired. I mean, bare minimum, you're gonna get tie from this thing.
Absolutely, tie.
So yeah, we've had a lot of write-ins, and we're grateful for each and every one. Each of you, you're our own little elf that's brought us a little bit of joy,
and a little bit of worry. Every single one of you,
and a little fear, absolutely. And no write-in will be complete. So yeah, so I say we just hop straight to it. Our first segment that we usually play is a segment I like to call "Fuck This Place?" ? But I would call this one just "Fuck This Movie."
Yeah. Oh man, fuck this movie ?
This is a reprisal of our lauded and award-winning segment on our Halloween episode, where
we get so many write-ins about this game. So many.
Just love it.
Can't get enough.
Nick did get some decent feedback. Everybody, my brother, for instance, who sometimes listens to the podcast, was like, I don't watch scary movies, so that game was lost on me, but it seemed like a good time. Well, have we got a treat for you?
Yeah, because everyone watches Christmas movies because they make you watch them in school when I was in school. Yes.
They do make you watch. It's like if it's one of those Fridays near break, and you're done with tests, they're like, we are going to watch the birth of Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I'm not sure everybody here is doing that. But yeah, there's a lot. One is quite saturated with the war on Christmas. In my opinion, has already been won by Christmas.
I think that it's one of those things where the war on Christmas, no matter how loud the detractors of Christmas are, people who love Christmas just kind of roll their eyes and continue with Christmas.
I don't think that there really is. I mean, we can talk about this for years, but there is no war on Christmas. There's just a war on not shoving Christmas down people's gullet every minute of every goddamn day from October 31st to December 26th.
Yes. I'm of the mind where I don't really care about having Christmas shoved at me because like Christmas is far and away my favorite holiday. And it's also like, it's like, okay, well, what's the other thing you really like the rest of the year that you're losing out on now? Because, cool, Thanksgiving, that holiday that's just become a meme about fighting with your family. Oh, yeah, that thing we're skipping over. See, I am the opposite. I had a good Thanksgiving this year with my family. Sure. And that is one of the few. Thanksgiving memories.
The thing that I think is a misnomer, and we will get to our first segment here, I promise. But the thing that I think that people misunderstand about Thanksgiving, you don't have to be with your family. The reason, not to say that Christmas is bad because you have to be with your family, but what I'm saying is the pro of Thanksgiving, in my opinion, is that it's like Christmas light in the sense that like the pressure's off a little bit. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna, and this is, maybe this is just the way that I've treated it. It's like, Thanksgiving's easy breezy. Like it's a Friendsgiving, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this like full on. There's not as many agendas on what a Thanksgiving has to be. Whereas, Christmas is like, but last Christmas,
but I would the lights. I would counter that with asking every mom about what Thanksgiving should be, because I think they probably feel a ton of pressure about what Thanksgiving is supposed to be.
I for sure agree that like the pressure's still there, but I'm just saying you can get away with a no attendance Thanksgiving if you promise for Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, but I also think like therein lies the magic of Christmas. Like I think that Christmas is like for me, like Christmas is like this thing where at the bottom line of Christmas is it's the darkest, coldest time of year. And it's the time of year where you definitely think about not just yourself. People try to spin like, oh, commercialism, materialism, they're just like price gouging, all this stuff. They try to throw it at you
as if they weren't doing that the rest of the year.
Absolutely. But it's like, oh yeah, they're price gouging you, they're overcharging you, but you're going to pay anyways. You know why? Because you fucking love someone, and only Christmas brings that out of you. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, or it's like Thanksgiving. It's just like, do we have ham or turkey or I don't know. And then your mom's like yelling at you. My mom's always yelling at me growing up. Thanksgiving. Oh my God. Because my dad was like, is the food ready at like 9 a.m.? And so,
For sure. Well, yeah, I can't say that I was a huge fan of Thanksgiving growing up, to be quite honest. But as an adult, dude, I fucking knock Thanksgiving out of the park because I just literally do whatever the fuck I want.
that's pretty tight. I will say, and then we should move. You're right. We should move on. I will say, maybe my favorite Thanksgiving I've ever had was my first Thanksgiving in LA. I spent it with Fuck This Place alums, Morgan Pulferl and Mike Streeter. And it was just the three of us, and we drank and had like a small turkey or something. It was, and that was a fuck ton of fun. And that was like in K-Town.
Yeah,
it was like,
what if that was every Thanksgiving is my
then
question.
then I might change my tune on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, all right. You know, I this is a mean thing I'm going to say, but it's fun, and I thought it. So I went to Death Valley for this Thanksgiving. I tried to be as COVID cool as I could. A lot of camping, a lot of not seeing people, and some people have seen pictures from the thing, and they're like, "Wow, you look so happy." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I fucking promise you, if you just." Like, number one, you weren't there, so of course I was happy. But number two, that's the mean thing. Number two is I fucking promise you, if you let me do what I want, I will have a fucking amazing time. Like, just the best time. I promise. If you'll just let me do it. Anyway.
You're just like out in the woods, like with camo face paint on, like real Rambo, but you're smiling. Like you're so happy to be building traps.
A good time.
Just
So
mountain
excited.
biking. Wheelies throughout the mountains.
Yeah. No, you're correct.
Just
All of
bunny
the above.
hopping over waterfalls.
Just
Oh,
like,
man.
boom, boom, and there's like, and I'm just like shoving turkey in my mouth. I just found it.
Yeah.
It's just deli turkey. It's not even cooked.
Oh man.
Anyway, so our first segment is going to be "Fuck This Movie?" Question mark. And again, we are going to take a look at some job posts from within a movie. That's the premise here. So for instance, when we were doing the holiday version, the way this worked is we read the post. One of the two of us has written it, obviously. And then the other person has to guess which one it is. I'll read both. It's fine. And then I guess I can guess on whatever it is. And then we'll also to figure out what would it take for us to take the job. And then as a bonus, we're going to figure out who has the worst job in said movie. So if it's like Scream and it's the camera guy, and then we figure out what would it take? It would take me $500 a day to work this camera guy. And who has the worst job? Well, it's probably the camera guy.
Yeah. Pretty bad. Oh no, I think you'd off pod made the point that Deputy Dewey probably has.
Deputy Dewey does have the worst job, I think.
Yeah. Just
no one respects that guy.
Yeah, least respected cop maybe ever.
Definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna do a randomizer here, and by randomizer, I'm just gonna like jiggle my mouse. And we are,
dude. We got sound effects now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we paid for them. So we are gonna take a look at post number 1, the title of which is "Toy Works Security Guard in Mall of America." Okay.
Ooh,
and
Minneapolis,
Minnesota. The post begins. Toy Works in the Mall of America is currently looking for a security guard for wonderful holiday season. Not a wonderful holiday season. Why work at Toy Works, you ask? Because Toy Works is the magical and wonderful toy store that has every toy you can think of. Sadly, our last security guard was trampled, presumably to death, upon opening store doors by people looking for the Turbo Man doll, which we are currently out of. Okay, I think I have a clue. I think I might know. Okay, but that means it's your turn to apply. Must be willing to work holiday hours, including weekends and nights. Yeah, no shit. Must have firearm carry permits in accordance with Minnesota state and Hennepin County regulations. Your turn, in all caps, to apply. Compensation, BOE based on experience. This was not written by me.
It was written by me.
And I believe that since the Turbo Man doll was mentioned and there was a trampling, this is from the blockbuster holiday hit starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and somebody else that I can't remember right now, Jingle All the Way.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, man.
Gosh.
I think for as big a hit as this movie was, it's very forgotten.
I agree.
And it's so good. It's really good. And the counterpart to Arnold Schwarzenegger is Sinbad.
Oh my fucking God. That's right.
So, and who I argue has the worst job in the movie because he is a mailman on Christmas. And he's also like, he's never not in his mailman outfit because he's at work and still trying to get this Turbo Man doll. Like he's absolutely in hell.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that movie though. I think it's so good. Phil Hartman plays like a secondary fucking sleaze of a villain, and he's so good in it.
What
and
is his role again? What does he do? Is he
like
buying
he's
up
like
the dolls or something?
No, he's the neighbor of Schwarzenegger's family, and he's always kind of passively hitting on Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife. He's like always coming over to like bake with her and stuff, and but Schwarzenegger can't really be around because he's got to work. He's got to get this toy.
He's got to get this toy. I must get a toy.
And what I love is that movie is one of the rare performances from like Arnold Schwarzenegger where almost no one, I think Phil Hartman has one line, almost no one acknowledges that he's a giant of a man.
That he's fucking enormous.
Yeah. Like everyone talks to him like he's just like some Joe Blow. I think Phil Hartman says something like, well, you're kind of a big guy or whatever at like one point, and that's it.
Yeah, this movie was written for like Kevin James.
Yeah, exactly. He's just supposed to be kind of a schlub. Yeah, but it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger who's just tossing people around if he wanted to. But it's a great movie.
Somebody? Does he throw someone in the movie?
Well, he gets in a fist fight with all those Santa Clauses.
Right.
And like,
you're absolutely right. This is a forgotten classic.
It's really good.
I think that it doesn't get the rewatches, maybe because of the era, I don't know. Like
maybe
there was a lot of good movies in the late 90s. Is that correct?
I think so. Yeah. I want to say it's like 96, 97 area.
Yeah. I just think that, yeah, maybe that was a factor. What would it so you've got your vote for Sinbad. I'm going to withhold my vote until we've decided. What would it take for you to take or apply for this job as a I guess like the replacement to a possibly dead or extremely invalid security guard?
I don't know, man. I never want to be a security guard, period. I just think that it's like, I'm stealing one of my own punchlines from when I used to do stand up, but that's a job that's both boring and dangerous. It just, because you go literally from zero to possibly having guns pulled on you. And so so the short answer is you couldn't pay me. Secondly though, but let's like backtrack. If I was a younger man, if I was like as dumb as I was in my early 20s, probably $2 more than minimum wage. Probably. Just knowing how dumb I am. That's what I'd say. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, obviously, like I'm not a man that's built for security. Just, nobody. But that being said, we've discussed this, I believe, at least a couple times. There are a lot of security guards out there that are really not built for security, both physically or mentally.
Absolutely.
I think that I think it's the outside of the security guard thing is to think that, yeah, this person's going to take care of people or whatever. The inside and reality, I believe, is that for the most part, your responsibility is to call the cops and shout.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they don't get into extremely hairy situations, because they absolutely do.
Yeah.
But like what they train you on is, I think, this truck and the keys and calling people at appropriate times.
I think that security guard's job is just to be a vague deterrent. Like they just train you how to stand in a way that might make someone second guess robbing this place.
For sure. Yeah.
And
so have like a slick jacket and like some keys that jangle.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the security guards I see, like the way their outfits fit them, it's like, did that belong to the last security guard?
Absolutely.
Why do you look so much smaller in that outfit than you should?
Because for the most part, and I know we've actually briefly touched on this on the podcast before. I can't remember if I edited it out or not all the way. Sometimes Chase goes off on tangents and he cuts them because it's too long. It's like another 30 minutes on this podcast.
But if you want those tangents, you go to the YouTube. All right, you can watch Chase go off on some people.
I usually delete from both. But I did apply to be a security guard one time, and for sure. Most of the time, it's a staffing company. Like we're Chase Security. And so like if you go to a Target, that security person doesn't work for Target. They work for Chase Security Solutions or whatever. And they get like, pinned. And it's just like, here's a million jackets, and all those things are managed by some other uniform company. Like it's very distant. All of the things.
I think if you really wanted to see what a real security guard looks like, you just type in like Jay-Z and Beyonce personal bodyguard.
That's a motherfucking
that's a security guard. That's someone who's gonna like has no problems like just fucking breaking wrists for you. Just some 12-year-old trying to reach across the aisle to touch Beyonce. Snap all your little fingies.
All your little fingies. Okay, great. Well, we're gonna look at another post. Let's go in the randomizer. Okay, this post job title is seasonal manager of Santaland. Seasonal manager, Santaland is the title.
Okay.
Then it says, the post reads, a beloved department store brand with a storied history of providing fun-loving holiday events, Gimbals is excited to start the holiday season. I love an unnecessary, we're glad that we get to make more money.
Yeah.
Gimbals department store seeks a seasonal manager to oversee daily operations and events at this year's Santaland in its New York City flagship store. Manager's responsibilities include train staff to accomplish daily shift objectives, educate staff and uphold brand objectives to spread holiday cheer to all customers, including elf attitude, uniform, time clock, and then it just peters out. Supervisor decoration. Supervisor, I guess they mean supervising. Supervisor decoration of Santaland space using pre-made kit and adhering to all branding guidelines. Manage Santa visitation events and delegate responsibilities to staff. And last of the manager responsibilities, no singing. Compensation, DOE, depending on experience. And that is the post.
Man, okay. I'm a little stumped. I'm just going to throw it out there. Is this Elf?
You're absolutely right.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Fucking nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the manager at Elf, at Gimbals, the guy who manages Will Ferrell. He adopts Will Ferrell's wandering the store, and he like sees him in the lingerie department, I think, and he's like, "Get over here to work in Santaland," and that's where he meets Zooey Deschanel's character, who everyone's favorite trope, I believe, is someone who hates to sing, which is Zooey Deschanel's character, but is fan-fucking-tastic at doing it.
Yeah.
But every child imagines themselves to be. I'm just like, I'm not good at singing. I've just never done it. And all of a sudden when I do, I sound like a classically trained vocalist.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's just Zooey Deschanel in a nutshell, though.
Absolutely. That's the aesthetic we've been riding for since the mid 2000s.
She's just like, aren't I just so attractive on a second look?
So this is the character. This is the manager who insists, for instance, there's a fight between him and the elf character because Will Ferrell wants to sing at the North Pole, and the manager, who I believe his name is, I did some Googling on the Wiki fandom page for Warner Brothers Studios, which is what a dark space, just to like, I get like, I don't know. I understand. I don't know. I actually hate it. I was going to say, I get the Disney thing. Like, no, that's just fucking stupid too. But anyway, I believe this person's name is Wanda, which I did not know.
Yes. And that's who I was going to argue is maybe the worst job, because
worst name.
Yeah, because like that's not even. I mean, that's I just watched the Christmas movies that made us about Elf not too long ago, and and they do mention that it's because I believe the role was originally for Wanda Sykes, was supposed to be.
Oh no shit.
Something like that. I could be wrong, but something like that. But then Faison Love just kept the tag. But I like to imagine that character is not named Wanda, and that's the only name tag they had left.
Like he became the manager, and they're like, well, we've printed all the stuff for all the rest of the staff, and you're the manager, so just like take the L and wear this Wanda.
Yeah.
He might have the worst job in the movie. I am going to side with you on this one. I think this is perhaps the worst job in this film. Mainly because, as we have identified, actually in our previous Calcania episode, this is seasonal in the most seasonal sense. Like once this is over, you're of absolutely no fucking use to Gimbals.
Nope. You're just garbage. You're just out with the trees.
Hard. Yeah. And what are you gonna do? Wait till next year? You know? Mm. And you know, it's just a, you know, but maybe in the real world. No, I was gonna say.
Not even in the real world.
No, I was gonna say in the real world there's a manager at Gimbals who is then like shoved over to the holiday department, and I'm sure that exists too. But they're also going to hire a special manager of just that section, you know, because we've seen those posts. Like we've seen manage this fucking Santa Land thing, and especially in COVID, that sounds like honestly maybe the worst job I could think of right now. Well, pretty close. What would it take for you to take this? I'll tell you one. For one thing for me, for sure. I mean, probably all jobs that are on this list, but I'd have to be in a bit of a tough spot.
yeah, that's true. Tough spot. I'd have to have someone there that I could confide in. I'd have to have another a friend that also.
You need a Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah. I need someone that, and then you got to give me today to do it. You got to give me like $35 an hour.
Yeah, to be the manager too.
Yeah.
I mean, manager. You got to yell at people.
Yeah,
for no reason.
And you're gonna spit me out in fucking 2.5, 3 weeks. No, you gotta pay me. You gotta pay me and give me a friend. Yeah.
Well, you know, this one, you know, realistically, this position could be from mid-November through.
That's true. But still, even there, oh my God.
Oh, no. Yeah. For me, certainly an increased wage. I mean, I think the truth is I could fall into this job accidentally, you know, like,
I believe that.
Like when I first moved to LA, I came around the holidays and I immediately jumped onto Warner Brothers studio tours that were hiring seasonally. And, you know, it was not a great time. I spent Christmas Day on the lot. You still wake up all seized and stuff, all like tense and stuff, having memories of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is a Warner Brothers property. So, again,
you're just like, oh, Marvin the Martian.
Friends. Gotta sit on that couch. We did the Friends couch, and we took pictures of people on that Friends couch with their phones.
Man, that feels like a nightmare.
It was a gay old time. But yeah, so what I'm saying is it's possible, you know, that probably I'm the most likely person in this duo to end up in this thing. I don't have a lot of retail
qualifications
experience.
Alone. I was just gonna say, even your minimal retail experience, they're not hiring me.
Tiny bit of retail, but mainly events. I have more events experience, like tourism and stuff. So I've managed too many crowds to back down if I'm in a tough spot. So
Wrangler.
If I could, you know, argue, I think realistically, what they would give would be a $20 an hour, you know, thing.
That's much better than the 35 I was asking for with zero experience.
I'm not saying I would enjoy, you know, but I think that, you know, I would acquiesce. I think.
Yeah, this is tough times Chase.
Yeah, this is tough times Chase. And tough times Chase knows. You know, he has experience around kids. He has experience with crowds. He has experience with events, and you know, Santa's got a brand new bag. Okay, so we're gonna go for the randomizer again. Okay, and next post is title of furnace repair, and the post reads, not very long. In need of furnace repair for my home. My husband has tried to fix it several times, and I cannot stand his incessant swearing while trying. Hoping to get this fixed before Christmas. OBO, as we have spent most of our money on gifts for our two sons, Ralphie and Randy. There we go. Compensation, $5. Okay, so I will say that I was lost until obviously we got the giveaway Ralphie and Randy. I thought initially that this furnace repair, when I saw furnace repair, I was thinking Home Alone because of that scary furnace. But then as soon as I read the like husband is trying to fix, like, well, that doesn't happen in Home Alone. And then Ralphie and Randy, this is from A Christmas Story.
Correct. Another classic,
and very much, I would say, properly lauded classic.
Yeah. This is my this is my family's not like official, but kind of quasi-official Christmas movie, because like TNT would play it for 48 hours straight or whatever. And my family, with it, at least one TV in our house growing up, was there for the whole ride, for the whole 48 hours. Like it was either on in the living room or my parents' room or something. So so this is probably my family's Christmas movie.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean it might be one of the most well written. It's just so good. I mean, we know.
Just shot selection too, because like they just take they take the context of it. Like they just make you give a shit about what Ralphie gives a shit about. You know, and they give you enough of people being like, no, you idiot, so that you have that other side of it. But Ralphie is so intent on getting this rifle, this BB gun, that you just want him to get it so bad.
You really do. And also, again, as a former child, everybody knows the one thing you wanted, you know. And it's just good. It's real good. I never actually read the book. It's based on a book.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I believe it's based on the book In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash. I think that's actually the title of the book.
I thought you were gonna be like the Da Vinci Code.
Genesis from the Bible. It's in the Bible. Who has the worst job in this movie?
I would say I was going to say the teacher. I was the teacher is the first place I went to. I kind of thought maybe you remember like that super like Santa that's like on ayahuasca or something. I don't know what's up with him.
Ayahuasca Santa.
Yeah, he's but I imagine that being one of his elves would be a nightmare.
I would think so. That's more worse. Yeah. He seems like a bit of a boozer, that one.
Yeah. And so I remember the elves kind of being down with the evil that Santa was doing.
Yeah, maybe they're in on it.
I do think objectively that would be the worst job, but those nuts seem to be with it. So, so either one of the elves or the teacher is where I would go. Because I don't think you ever find out what the dad does. He seems like his job, just Arthur Miller, Death of a Salesman, kind of drains him.
His job and life blows, and that is actually, I think, one of the reasons that plants you so clearly into Ralphie's consciousness is because he has no idea what his father does. It's irrelevant completely to Ralphie. Only that his father hates it.
That's a great point. Yeah. It's a very like Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes relationship with his dad.
You're the man who loves turkey and yells at dogs. And doesn't want to talk to me, you know. That's that. It's the teacher, but that being said, I don't actually, I mean, aside from the teacher having to grade things and get gifted things, it doesn't seem that her job is particularly bad. I just personally would not want to be a teacher.
I would want to do that.
So, I mean,
especially I think that year the film takes place is 1939, which is also why $5 is a pretty big get.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get
what do you tell kids then in 1939? What are you teaching them that's going to do anything for that world?
You're absolutely right. You are, just inches from like the Second World War.
Yeah. Just things are getting real bad in Europe right now. Real bad.
Super fucking bad. And these kids are not going to get drafted because I think they're going to be just a little too young right away. But like, as the war goes on, these kids are for sure going to be lining up,
Yeah.
So let's go with the teacher just because of the historical context. She as the timeline of this film moves on, things are not going to be fun for her. They're not going to be fun for the elves either, but I think understand that those elves are survivors. They are a part of the industry of people that is relying on seasonal work. And so they are just going to be scrappy,
Yeah.
Teacher, she seems like she sincerely cares about these kids. And, and there's going to be a lot more trouble than getting your tongue stuck on a pole coming up pretty soon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I did not know that it took place in 1939, but
all of
that makes Man, what a time. What would it take for either of us to take this job? Obviously, number one, we'd have to be qualified enough to work on furnaces. So we're going to just assume that because
Uh-huh,
otherwise
uh-huh.
we're both out of the running.
For me, I mean, I'm in right away. I think minimum wage in 1939 was around 30 something cents.
Okay, so
If
$5
that- I
is
think-
like
Yeah, and I
$50.
don't even think that was an officially mandated thing. I think that
Mhm.
was. I mean, it might
They
have
didn't
been.
even have minimum wage. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I just
the
think that's what
lowest
the
wage.
average pay was, or like the lowest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like 30 something cents. So
Mhm.
$5 is a shit ton of money.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, maybe they're willing
I
to shell out for this specific
Yeah.
project.
yeah, and
Or-
I'd
or-
do it.
Sure. I would say, knowing what I know a little bit about the movie, one of my fears would be, and again, I wouldn't know this as your average handyman in 1939, is that the mom is doing this behind the dad's back, and so
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you are caught there,
Oh,
when
that's a
he
great
comes
point.
home, you could be in big fucking trouble.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I always just felt like this is something the mom would do
Mhm.
because I mean, the dad certainly would. He went out and bought that gun for his son after,
that's a good point. There's a little bit of
like-
backstabbing on both sides.
Yeah. So
And yeah, they really gloss over that. Again, this is the child's perspective, but like, and I know it was 1939, but like, what a fucking stone cold move
yeah.
to go behind the mom's back and buy the most like controversial gift of
the
perhaps
one
this child's
thing.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like you look for little like context clues of the mom buys that pink outfit, the bunny outfit, or I think it's a gift
The
from the
aunt,
aunt.
the
Yeah,
aunt,
yeah. And so, but she's just like adores it.
She's all in.
Versus like the idea that the dad would not only try to enter a contest to win a lamp of a woman's leg, but also buy his very young son a gun.
Mhm.
It's just like it implies that they just have completely different ideas about what's okay.
Yeah. So then, yeah, it's extremely likely this post was written just by her, and this is going to be a sort of a secretive gig. You're going to be in and out while he's working to repair, and then hopefully, you never hear a word about it. But there's an element of danger there because I don't imagine that Mr. Christmas, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
their last name is Story. Mr. Story would be super psyched to come home and find you working on his furnace, which he insists he can fix at any time. But I dig it. I think you're right. The wages are worth it. Okay, Christmas randomizer. Here we go. Okay. This one's a bit of a long one. We have a title of Extremely Personal Assistant / Chief Operations Officer. 2 in 1 for the job title. Okay. ISO, in search of Personal Assistant to Executive Director position and Chief Operations Officer at international and globally recognized nonprofit. Must be extremely organized and task-oriented with a proven track record in high efficiency, organizational performance, and optimization. Jesus. Position will be split between administrative and personal assistance to the CEO, as well as management of all in-house operations. Right away, big red flag. There's a lot going on here. In addition to daily responsibilities, you will eventually be training an incoming CEO who will likely be a little shaken up as his successor will have recently passed away and or disappeared.
Okay.
All right. Position requirements. 5+ years experience at C-suite or otherwise executive level in a global logistics firm. Good God. Proficiency in QuickBooks, MS Office, G Suite, SC Suite. Not sure. And then preferred qualifications. Passion for cocoa and cookies, Christmas cheer, light dreads, and salaries to be discussed at interview. And that is the post.
Dude, I am stumped. I was thrown off by all that jargon up top.
A lot of jargon up top.
Uh-huh.
I think your linchpin phrase here, this is written by Chase, is you will eventually be training an incoming CEO who will likely be a little shaken up as his successor, the previous CEO's successor, will have recently passed away and or disappeared.
See, that's what I was thinking about, like the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. That's what I was.
Boom.
Oh, okay, cool, got it. Because that's the only
nailed it.
movie I can think of where Santa dies, and they really, again, to do a Scream reference, they really Drew Barrymore him right up top. They kill your biggest character right up top.
They just kill Santa immediately in that movie.
Yeah. So what I was thrown by, because I was like, okay, I think it's the Santa Claus, but light dreads, I don't remember that.
This is okay. So okay. This is from the movie The Santa Claus. But the position is not Tim Allen's position. Tim Allen's position would be the CEO here.
Oh, got it.
So the position is Bernard, who is the head of the elves at Santa's workshop. And he has, and I cannot stress this enough, very light dreads.
Oh man, I feel like the Santa Claus was a movie I watched a bunch when it came out and then have not gone back to.
I know certain people that really cling to the Santa Claus movies.
I remember it being a great movie.
I am in a similar boat. I watched it a bunch, as it came out as a kid, but like I've not watched it a bunch since. When we were discussing this game, I was thinking to myself, I kind of got started thinking about who the worst job in the Santa Claus was. I have my own thoughts, but I think that Bernard is a pretty high contender because he is the head of the elves. He's in charge of all of Santa's workshop operations, and then he has to train an incoming new leader who is experiencing so much trauma being shoved into the position of the leader of a global nonprofit, a giant organization, and he never asked for any of it. So it seems like he had a pretty tough spot.
I would say Bernard. I agree with that. Just the idea of being anywhere in the realm of reality within a Santa Claus workshop. It sounds like it would just be terrifying. And it doesn't look that way, but just, anyone who's ever worked on an assembly line of any kind knows that it can get pretty dicey.
It can get pretty dicey in there. I mean, nobody talks about this, but I believe it was our I can't remember. I can't remember who our guest was. We were talking about someone who got their finger stuck in a walnut thing.
Oh, Selena Sabia.
Selena. So I'm just saying nobody talks about, elf conditions.
And
we all know they're cheerful. We all know they're happy, but you can't tell me there's not some fingies that are getting lost.
Losing some fingies in there.
In the Santa Claus realm.
A little extra gift, huh?
I would like
tiny fingy tip.
I would like to do a special shout out as far as bad jobs go. To, I believe it's played by Judge something, the psychologist guy, the new stepdad in just because I feel like he doesn't have a bad job, he's just in a tough spot, because he's new to the family. I don't think that people give is it Judge Reinhold? Is that his name?
Yeah, I think it's Judge Reinhold.
Because there's an Arrested Development. What a fucking name! There's an Arrested Development. Is it season 4 where they're like Judge? So fucking stupid. Anyway, I just thought part of his name must have been made up from that, but it's just the extra judge part. Judge Reinhold. I just think that he has a really tough. He's in a tough position. Yeah. I don't know about his job being tough. I mean, to be a psychologist, I would guess is pretty tough as well. But I just think he's in a real tough spot because he's new to this family. He has what appears to be pretty fucked up, what do you call the person that used to be married to the person you're married to now? It's not like a ex-in-law.
But, sure. My wife's ex-husband.
Yeah, my wife.
Yeah.
Sure, the Christmas magic and everything, but if you're you give this guy a little break. He doesn't believe in Santa because he didn't get his fucking weenie whistle one year. And this guy seems to be being super erratic and weird and having some crazy fucking Santa fan. So I'm just saying he's doing his best.
He's doing what he can. When I watch Christmas movies, I always end up siding against people. I mean, I know it's what you're supposed to do, but you kind of side against the people who don't believe in Santa Claus, because it's almost always just like one dumb thing that happened to them one time. And they're like, I'm fucking done with this guy forever. Not only do I not believe in him, but I fucking hate him.
And I want everyone else to not believe in him.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, it's just, and it's just like, just try a little harder. A little harder.
I do think you're right that if we were rewriting the Santa Claus, maybe we could have put a little more trauma on than just I didn't get my weenie whistle.
Yeah.
And also, let's back up. How come he didn't get that weenie whistle?
Yeah. I think
it was just a weenie whistle.
Yeah, I don't know. Just got skipped over. And honestly, what if he was on the naughty list that year? Maybe, like, is it like it just like, yeah, I didn't play by the rules and then I fucking got fucked over by it. It's just, yeah, the rules are laid out. He might have been a shit kid.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as could have the mom been a shit kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, that's why I'm not saying that he has the worst job. I do think it's Bernard.
Bernard.
But special shout out to Judge Reinhold.
Shout out to Judge, man.
What would it take? What would it take to take the job?
Oh, kind of the same deal here. I was gonna it would take a lot of money, and I think I'd have to. I mean, in Santa's workshop, though, you feel like you'd have some friends.
You'd have some friends.
So it might be a little. You know what? I'll back off on that because you just so rare. I watched. It doesn't matter, but like you so rarely see actual like discourse in Santa's shop. Like it's almost exclusively like, yeah, we're busy, but this is pretty cool, And so I would say
it's easy to manage.
Yeah, I would say it might be a little easier. Give me good money though. Give me good money, and I need to know that I get priority on certain presents. I want that PS5, my guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I am for sure pretty alarmed by the duality of this position. It seems like a classic nonprofit. Just like, well, what if we had two very important jobs be one? So
that is scary. Yeah.
I would for sure, it seems like Judy, who is the assistant, more of an attendant who brings like cookies and a little bit of wisdom to the Santa Claus position. I would probably first step, I would give her a promotion and be like, you are going to be assistant chief operations officer.
Guess what?
And you know what I mean, or elevate her personal assistant role, and then I just stick with the chief operator. I would do. I would need to have some conversations about a little restructuring in order, because this is a pretty big red flag. The fact that they're willing to combine these two positions, but I'm willing to talk.
Absolutely.
All right. Christmas randomizer. Here we go. And our next job title, second to last, is urgent. Polka band needed. And I believe I know where we are here. Our text reads, "Hi, I'm hosting holiday party and my band is unable to make it to the venue on time. Last I heard, they were giving a woman a ride back to Illinois so she could grab something she forgot. An excuse which sounds very made up. So, I'm in need of a polka band, preferably one that can play such polka hits as Polka Polka Polka, Twin Lakes Polka, and Polka Twist. Please, I am desperate. It's Christmas Eve." And compensation, $666 an hour or best offer. Wow. So this was not written by me. This is written by Nick, and I believe this is from Home Alone. And the person who's writing this ad is the person who John Candy's band obviously ditched in order to help out Catherine O'Hara, the mother of Kevin McAllister.
100% correct. 100% correct.
And we do not think about this woman enough, or this person enough.
No. It's Herculean what she did after she totally botched being a mom.
No, I'm talking about the person who wants this polka band back.
Oh, that I was talking about the mom.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Herculean effort.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is we don't talk about the fact that weren't they on the way to a gig
Yeah, they were. They had
There's
that
no
van
way
all
they're
set
not
up.
super fucking late.
No way. If they're making it at all.
Correct.
I can't quite remember
It
if
is
they were
pouring snow.
Yeah, I can't quite remember if there was a line about like that's on the way.
He
but
did
I
say
don't,
something, but it did not. It was in the John Candy way. It was like, we're going from Detroit to New York. We'll stop by North Carolina, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I guess you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that and this person like for that year has no way of knowing that John Candy's not going to be there on time. It's just like there's no cell phones or anything like that. And I just assumed just with the kind of cavalier attitude that John Candy has about ditching his job, you know, and
it's like life. I mean, and obviously he does this for a living.
He does have a very I'm in a cool band attitude though, because he's like thrown that she doesn't know who he is or hasn't heard of the band.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that he really ditched someone that day.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Someone really got high and dry on some polka, and obviously they were popular. So you know they're probably booked solid. You know, once you lose that opportunity, you lost it.
Yeah,
you got to move on to the next gig. Who has the worst job in Home Alone?
I would say to me, far and away, it's got to be the person that the mom is yelling at the airport. He's working like Christmas Eve and just getting like the flights.
The person who actually works, the French person who works for the airline. That specific person.
Yeah, when John Candy comes over.
Oh, that person that's in like when they're in the Detroit airport or something.
Yeah, and like and he's just like
just
like
to my son.
Yeah, and it's Christmas Eve or whatever, and and just there's no flights, there's nothing. That place is slammed.
Sure.
And I just can't imagine that it's not every single customer just in his face like she is for 8 hours straight.
You know, I think you're absolutely right that is the worst job in any Christmas movie, really. Just anything related to the flights.
Yeah.
I would like to do an honorable mention to that pizza guy.
Yeah.
And I would say that the rest of his job is probably okay in the sense of like I deliver pizzas, it's no big deal. We haven't even invented the pizza keep it warm bag yet because it's still the 90s. You remember that? Remember like we're like, did you know we could put pizza in warm bags this whole time?
Yeah.
And we were just like, are you fucking kidding me? I've been getting cold pizza. For like 30 years. You know?
Yeah, it was a huge deal. They're like, look, we got these things from NASA or something.
Yeah. It's just aluminum foil inside a bag. Fucking amazing that they took so long for them to come up with that. But yeah, so just a little shout out to him because every time he delivers that house, he gets into a situation that he never wanted to get into.
Yeah.
And he
from his perspective, they're pulling machine guns on him.
Yeah, correct. Nobody deserves that for a fucking cheese pizza and obviously a shitty tip. Like he gets tipped shitty, and I think every time.
Yeah.
So little shout out to that guy. What would it take?
Okay, so 600.
Yeah,
I don't play polka either. I do know my way around a guitar, and if we did, I would say I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't take a job on Christmas Eve. I wouldn't. Sure. I would just I'd take that time off. For $666, I would. You have to split it between like John Candy's band was like what? Like it was a lot of people. It was like a 6-piece band. Yeah. And so I'm going to say you'd have to double that. Also just for Nick, just a little Nick action, wink at Nick. I did the $666 as a quiet whisper towards that theory that John Candy's the devil in Home Alone.
He's the devil?
Yes, because Catherine O'Hara has that line where she says that she would do anything, that she would sell her soul to the devil himself. They are at a crossroads, which is where you're supposed to go to meet the devil.
John Candy just appears.
Yeah, to her, we see him in the background, but isn't that how a devil would work?
Absolutely.
But then to her, she just appears. She gets a like, when he shows up. And then
so we're thinking that there is a terrible price that she has to pay sometime in the future.
Yeah. And then also in some groups believe that the devil plays a fluted instrument, which is what John Candy plays.
I was completely unaware of this theory, but boy, does it make that scene all the more exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's also funny to think about that if you were to sell your soul to the devil, which is funnily how you and I really first working together, was a
That's
sketch about
true.
selling your soul to the devil. How the devil doesn't necessarily have to deliver in a magical way. You just be like, yeah, I'll just literally drive you to.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I would not take the job just because all of the previous language, it seems like, why are you shit talking this band? I understand that something happened. Like, just say, I need a last minute polka band. You know, I don't need to hear your fucking story. I don't want to show up and hear your whole thing about how someone left. I'm the guy who showed up. So don't fucking talk to me about your shitty ass previously booked client or client contract. Okay. Final Christmas movie. Boop. I don't know if this one this is written by Chase. Full disclosure, Nick. This might be a tough one. I like to put a little toughie at the end. Okay, job title post is: are you a good magician? Magician for holiday party. Seems a little taunting. And the post begins: hi, we're looking for a magician for this year's class holiday party. Experience with kids is a must. We are thinking maybe half an hour. Our kids can be a bit of a handful, so please dress professionally, including tailcoat and top hat if possible. Please be good. We want to see a rabbit and all that stuff. We will have some recess time immediately following the show. The children will have some free time, make snowmen, etc. And if you could stick around for a meet and greet, we would appreciate it. Likely another half hour. Please inform us of your hourly rates. And that is the post.
That is
a bit of a stumper.
That is absolutely a stumper.
If you're playing along at home, and if you're also Nick, there are a couple important clues to remember. Number one is the mention of snowmen in the activities after this magic show. This is super fucking obscure. This is purposely tough. And then the fact that the person has to bring a top hat if possible. Those are your two very important clues. I will let you stew for just a moment longer, Nick, while the rest of the audience at home, which I genuinely hope there's a couple people that are fucking screaming at their earphones, just like, it's mother. And that is the post. So snowman, top hat. Any guesses?
No.
Okay, great.
I mean, I would have said like Frosty the Snowman just
Nailed
because.
It.
Got it. Damn it. All right, cool. Because of the top hat. Because
Correct.
of the magic of the top hat. Got it.
Yep. This is from the, I believe, late 60s, like maybe 69 or 71 or some shit like that. Frosty the Snowman television holiday special with fucking, it's like so 60s out. And I forget this movie because it's there. I have the McNeil family has this VHS tape that is full of taped holiday specials like the Grinch, whatever.
Hell yeah.
And there's commercials from the 80s in between each of them at commercial breaks. Because this is before we realized you could just pause the recorder and like start up again. But there's two Frosty movies. There's this one and Frosty's Winter Wonderland, which I feel like is a more popular one because it's like Frosty versus Jack Frost and he gets like a wife or whatever. This Frosty movie is so fucking weird.
Really?
Because the main antagonist of this movie is this magician whose name, I had to Google it, is Professor Hinkle.
Ooh, Hinkle, you son of a bitch.
He shows up at the beginning of the movie to do a magic show for this fucking class. He's the narrator says he's the worst magician in the world.
Oh man, he's already getting on Hinkle.
Just sucks. And he does an awful magic show. And then I think he's like leaving the show. The kids are at recess. His hat blows off his head. It lands on Frosty. And that's how Frosty comes to life, is that magician's hat. And it's because they like adapted it from that song. There must be some magic. And it's like, I guess because of the worst magician. Anyway,
yeah.
He gets super mad that Frosty's alive and wants to get the hat back so that he can make money off of the hat. And apparently this hat has done nothing magical before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so anyway, he spends time trying to steal the hat back from Frosty and eventually does. And like a little girl cries and then Santa shows up. Santa Claus shows up and is like,
beats his ass.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He's like, don't be fucking mean to Frosty. And if you write an apology letter, like 1,000 of them or something to Frosty, then maybe I'll give you another magic hat or whatever.
Yeah. And then he like does like a quick like karate chop to his throat.
Yeah. And then the magician never speaks again.
And he falls on the snow.
He's actually, after that, he's the world's worst mime. So yeah, it's just
and
super
Santa and the
weird.
kids are just kicking him on the ground. There's all this like Christmas music, all this jingle jangle Christmas music and stuff. The reindeers are getting him with their hooves.
Frosty's like, get him. Yeah, they cut
Uh-huh.
that for time, but it is
Yeah,
a part
yeah.
of Frosty canon.
They cut out like when Frosty had like his broom and he was like choking him out with it from behind and stuff. Santa's just hitting him in the chest and the stomach as hard as he could. And they're just like, you're the worst magician in the world.
You already knew that. Yeah, so weird premise, weird movie, but an odd and rare delight.
Crazy deleted scenes.
Full of deleted scenes. You have to go to Blu-ray.
Director Ron Howard was like, you know what? Let's cut that.
We're already at 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Feels like we're beating a dead horse.
We're not making
literally.
The Godfather here. Come on.
Who has the worst job in the Frosty movie? I mean, I think the magician could be
The magician
one.
absolutely sounds to me like the worst.
I would say a little bit Santa, in the sense that Santa's got to come in and resolve petty disputes.
Oh, sure. Like he's also a Judge Judy kind of a character.
Yeah, like, it's just like you got Santa specifically has to step in and be like, fucking give him his hat back. It's magic. So I'm gonna, we'll make this one a split vote. I'm gonna say Santa just because I do think that Santa doesn't really. It's busy. This is literally the busiest time of year. For this man, and he's got to come down and work with the worst magician in the world to do the bare minimum, which is to give a hat back.
That's a good point. I'm gonna stick with the magician just because in my head he's getting power bombed through tables and stuff by the end of it.
Just picking up like a folding chair. Anyway.
Yeah. Hitting the back with a folding chair and
just
trying to do my job.
One of the final scenes for some reason in this movie is they're in this like greenhouse with a bunch of poinsettias, and Frosty's like melting because he's trying to hide from the sun. And I just keep thinking about the magician just getting thrown through the glass out into the snow of this thing in the WWE
Gonna
version.
settle this in a buried alive match.
All right, so fuck those movies.
Fuck those movies, man.
Nick,
Yes, sir.
guess fucking what?
What do you got for me?
We got a motherfucking write-in.
Oh, write in.
We have a write-in
to our show.
To this show.
Shit.
And let me just say for the record that this is a new person that has never written in before. Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll be damned.
Long time listener, first time texter.
You hear that, Mom and Dad? A new write-in.
Don't you do it. But yes, 100% new, brand spanking new write-in, brand spanking new person. If you want to write in, you know how to do it. It's 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. 470 bad jobs in the job nomenclature. Today's write-in comes from a little somebody named Ben.
Okay, Ben.
And let me tell you, we've got some meat to get through here.
This is a lot. This guy he fucking wrote this.
This is an opus. One could guess. Yeah, no, this is not nothing. This isn't just Ben writing in and being like, "What's up? You guys suck." Which honestly, if you wanted to do that, you totally could. We'd
have to read it. Yeah. We'd probably fight you in the parking lot somewhere.
Yeah, we're required by law to read all write-in. That's just the podcaster's creed,
Yeah. It's the oath we took.
So when you get your first microphone at Guitar Center, they tell you better read these write-ins. Okay, so let's just get to it. The write-in says Chase. So getting specific. Hello, Chase. This is Ben. It's been way too long, but wanted to let you know I love the podcast. I will say that Ben has identified himself in previous communications. That this is a Ben that I know. Is a Ben that I worked with. This is a former coworker of mine.
Oh wow!
Shout out to coworkers everywhere.
Yeah, from your origin story.
Yeah, a little bit. I would say. I would say Ben is a coworker from one of the best jobs I've ever had. No question.
Oh, that's nice.
So we had a good time. Our lives have all gone downhill since then. But
yeah. Oh yeah.
But
it got real bad.
Things have gone super south, but we do appreciate the good times. I should say. Okay. But yeah, so a little preface there. This is a friend of the pod, you could say. I mean,
Mhm.
anyone who writes in is an automatic friend of the pod.
I'll
But
die
this
for
is-
any of you. Mhm.
This is a pre-friend of the pod, solidifying their friend of the podness. Next line says, Nick, I don't know you, but I do feel the need to explain a little about Papa Murphy's to you.
Oh damn, Ben is coming for my head.
So for
Mhm.
those who have not heard the episode, I believe it is our episode with
With
Shalia
Shalia.
Latour.
Mhm.
Her first job was Papa Murphy's, and we spent a lot of that episode shitting on Papa Murphy's.
Yeah. What I was thinking was that I don't want Ben to be someone that fights a lot on the internet, but that he he heard whatever he didn't like that I was saying, and it was like that moment in his head where he got all founding fathers, and he was like, no, it's that if good men don't fight against evil, that is the sin. And he was like, now is my time. I have to stop this.
For months he's been listening, and he's decided on this key issue to step up.
Yeah, Nick has gone too far.
I will say, I don't know if this is included in the official write-in, but we did text a little bit back and forth afterwards, and that is 100% the case. He had, I believe he said, and maybe he does say to the end of this, I can't remember, but he basically said like, yeah, I was thinking about writing in previously, but this is when I was like, no, I'm taking a stand.
Yeah. I like to think he was like riding up his bike through the mountains. It's just like, then he just like stopped and like sat down next to like a willow tree and just started penning this
He's just
down.
like, no.
No.
Yeah, I do like that you think that anyone that I was once a friend with is riding a bike in their mountains.
Yeah.
And honestly, kind of true. Although I don't know if he's
Uh-huh.
on a bike, but he's often in the mountains. So,
Right. Civil War letters.
Yeah, like a bird landed on his shoulder, and he was like, "What do you think, bird? Should I do this?" You know,
it was like I can't do it because I'm. Just for context, my voice sounds a little weird. It's because I am. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, good. But I am drastically hungover. Like, I have not been in years. I would say the college years if I went to college, but but like since that long, I haven't been this hungover since people my age were in college.
right. Yeah.
So, but I was gonna try to do like some kind of a caw noise of a bird, and I just do not have the strength.
Just save your energy. We've got so much more writing. It went like caw, and he was like, "That's the answer." Okay, so then Nick's friend Ben really lays it out. We've got a list here, so we're gonna get through it. First, economics. Papa Murphy's make a perfectly adequate pizza for the price. All right. That's not. Oh, I should say that Nick was very explicit when we were shitting on Papa Murphy's that if somebody liked it, that they should text. So Ben has answered the call in a like a patriot.
Yeah. That's what I said. It's not that that evil exists. It's that good men don't fight against it is the issue.
Yeah.
And that's how Ben sees me as
Yeah.
tyranny and oppression.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a perfectly adequate pizza for the price. It is much better tasting and larger quantity than even your high-end grocery store frozen pizza. It's a low bar, I know, but I will say that's certainly if you're comparing the two, he's right. It's a bigger pizza and there's more of it. I mean, frozen pizza isn't good, But I mean, I eat it, but it's not good. It's also about the same price, if not cheaper than Domino's, Pizza Hut, and the like, which I think that is true. I mean, we did identify it as the Subway of frozen pizza.
Can we reference that? Can we reference the price of a large Domino's pizza?
You want to look it up?
Yeah, let's look it up.
For sure.
Because I mean, this is very eloquently put, but it also does sound like something my mom would say to me about why we can't have something fun, like that, you see those memes that are like, oh, like the food at home or whatever. And it's
yeah.
So we'll do the price of a large Domino's pizza versus the price of a large Papa Murphy's. And keep in mind that my argument is not of preference in terms of taste. There's not really a whole lot of bad pizza, but my thing was that, okay, why am I cooking this?
Yeah. And I mean, I would like to defend that position. Okay, so let's say we got a large pepperoni, thin or original crust at Papa Murphy's. That is $10.50. Okay. So, I mean, fair. And I will say frozen pizzas that are not that big will also can be, $8-9. Right. Domino's large pizza. Man, I got to allow Domino's in my location and stuff. Like, this is we just want to know the price of one. We just want to know.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
Domino's is like,
God.
who that? Who sent you? What you want?
I mean, like, shut up, dude.
Domino's is like, close the damn door.
Look at this fucking. This is so annoying.
Domino's pizza builder. Okay, I will. I mean, we didn't go to the actual Papa Murphy's website, but I would assume they don't have a fully 2005 interactive menu.
Yeah,
Domino's does.
I just want to say, like, I'm mad at this Domino's for not giving me an answer, and for some reason, I feel like whatever the answer is, then like I want to take a couple dollars. I want to add a couple dollars for all the work that it took for me to get to this fucking point.
Okay.
My pizza, add to order. Want a pepperoni? Jesus Christ. Okay, are we done? Let's go to this fucking cart. $13.94.
$13.94 for a large pepperoni.
For a large 14-inch pepperoni.
And what was it for Papa Murph's?
Papa Murph's is $10.50. So that's a fair bit.
That is a fair bit. I will say, but also I don't have to cook this.
Yeah, no, it's super important. Very important. Yeah. Which I honestly think that Ben might get to it. So
okay, yeah. Let's get back to what Ben was saying.
Economics, I'd say we're a bit of a wash here because again, the point still stands. I don't want to fucking cook this pizza either.
Yeah.
Okay. Second, customizable. Papa Murphy's lets customers customize the shit out of pizza. Way more.
I will say Domino's apparently was going to put you through the ringer for customizing that pizza.
Yeah, that's true. But I'll keep reading. Way more than delivery chains. So folks who want to get a little creative or are vegetarian or something have far more choices without paying high off menu prices. All right. So you telling me you get to bring in some stuff? That'd be pretty sweet. I assume this is
Kisses.
Yeah. Just one in the middle.
Something weird. Yeah.
Just one Reese's cup right
I'm going to add more of those little white table things. That's what I want.
That's the topping. I assume this is because they're not responsible for cooking the pizza or delivering it in a timely manner. The employees have a little more time to kill. All right. Yeah. So a little bit more of Wild West situation. Besides the ingredients, you can also control the length of time the pizza cooks. So if you love throwing things in the oven and forgetting to set a timer and heating burnt to shit pizza, you have that choice. Okay, this is a bit of an American, like if you really want, this is the libertarian version of pizza. I'm just like, yeah, you want to crisp the fuck out of it, or if you want it super doughy, this is your right. Okay, I'll respect that. Third, healthier ? Pizza. Okay, I like this is a very short bullet point. Healthier pizza.
He wasn't sure about this one.
I mean, honestly, nobody is. From Papa Murphy's, seems, and I really do appreciate the seams, far less greasy than Little Caesars, Domino's, etc. I am not basing this on any actual facts.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna I don't think you should put your back to that wall because it just you back off that sentence in this very next sentence.
Yeah, but I'll side with Ben.
I don't think he's necessarily wrong. I'm just
we're not gonna it's like
because it's like who puts a question mark in parentheses because they're totally sure. But also, and I wouldn't. I think that Domino's is probably less healthy than Papa Murphy's because of the grease or whatever. But Little Caesars is less healthy because there's like razor blades and stuff in those pizzas.
Yeah. Yeah, that old hat. Okay,
it's like
fourth.
Some Captain Crunch in this.
And I didn't even add it like I normally do when I go to Papa Murphy's. A cereal pizza. Okay, anyway. Fourth, convince. I think he means convenience. If you live close to Papa Murphy's location, that's a tall order. You can place an order online, preheat your oven, screw the fire marshal. Okay, run and pick up your pizza because it will be ready in like 45 seconds. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Come home, bake it for 18 minutes, and be eating cheaper, healthier pizza before you could have a delivery from Pizza Hut or Domino's. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna move because of that. Yeah. So it's that's a chance thing.
That's contingent on a couple things. And I think really that this hinges on the preheating the oven. Right. Okay. Because it's like, all right, if it's an 18-minute bake, and you're and it's on the way home or something, and there's somebody at your house who can start your oven. All right. I could see that, essentially you might have the same time or similar time.
The Casey's building, though, sounds more and more like it's just that Papa Murphy's agrees with his life, it's just
that may be true.
And I think that's fine, but that's only works if it agrees with your life. Because then it's like, yeah, or I, live down the street from a Domino's and I can just walk there and I don't pay the delivery fees. And all
I have
that.
a lot of respect for close by food.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
There's a Thai restaurant that I go to often that I can walk to that is it the best Thai in LA? There's no way that it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But is it the best Thai for me in LA?
Mm-hmm.
No question. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I also live within walking distance of a Thai restaurant that's not that good and only a short distance from a better Thai restaurant. But it's like the crappy one wins out because it's 75 less steps.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say I would like to defend that specific Thai restaurant. I do think it's actually they've got probably one of the better pad thais I've had, and their papaya salad.
That's my jam. Pad thai is so good.
Of course, and their papaya salad is a bit of a rock star. I eat papaya salad in other places, and sometimes the quality of the ingredients is better, but the flavor not so. So again, if it if the only argument we have up until this point is, well, if you're close to a Papa Murphy's, it's fine. I'll let that stand. Okay. Fifth, less waste. No oversized square box that can't go in the recycling. That's true. That's not my favorite thing, is to have that giant box.
Yeah. I think it does disintegrate in the sun, though. I think it does turn back into dust, and then that dust gets blown in the wind back to the Domino's.
Right. That's how they get it. So one way or the other, it's making a trip. Sixth, as was previously mentioned on the pod, Papa Murphy's has not had any racist or homophobic PR disasters yet. Fuck Papa John's, which was mentioned. Papa John said the N-word. He shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
But that doesn't count out Domino's or Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
these are kind of just like, oh, this is why it's better than this one, but this is why it's better than this one. These are kind of like flailing.
Okay, all right.
Against,
that's your sense of things.
That's kind of like, I don't like. Yeah, I don't have unless Domino's did say the N-word at some point too. And
they didn't.
We don't. I mean, maybe we don't know.
Well, actually, that's true. We don't know.
I mean, I don't know what goes on behind those.
I wouldn't put it past them, and I sure should. I'm not going to defend them. I don't know them.
For sure.
We've talked about this more than once. We talked about with Ellery Smith. I'm not going to defend my friends. Because everyone's perfectly capable.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah, everyone's perfectly capable of being a monster. So tell me, and I'll believe it. Pizza taste aside, I love what the two of you are doing. When the podcast first launched last year, I was working a terrible job, and listening to your podcast on the clock really helped.
Oh wow, that means the world to me.
That means everything.
That's so nice to hear.
Thanks, and keep it up, Ben.
Dude, Ben, I really appreciate you writing in. I really appreciate you also just doing the bullet points, because this is actually how Chase and I read our Craigslist posts too. So it's like very nice. I mean, like I said, it's cool to like Papa Murphy's. I just personally, I don't want to cook it myself.
Yeah, no.
Because if that's the case, I could just go to Trader Joe's, buy up 5 pepperoni pizzas from there. That's gonna be way cheaper in the long run over the next 5 pizzas I eat, and cook it myself at home. That's my thing.
It's a super good point. No, yeah. I mean, I think what the problem and I guess the beauty for the people that it works for, which I think Shalee was talking about as well, is that for the people it works for,
loyalists,
it fucking works for them.
Yeah.
I said it as well. There are the people who love Papa Murphy's. They fucking love it. I mean, they really won't shut the fuck up about it. Really.
Yeah.
And it's because it works for them, because it's close to them, or they're, Papa Murphy's is for the middle of the road between the pizza planners and the people who got to have pizza right fucking now. Somewhere in between. And if you find yourself in that sweet spot, then Papa Murphy's is tailor made for you.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt. I mean, there's a reason that there's over 40 locations. I don't know. I don't
45.
know. 45 locations. I think so. Yeah. Shalia worked at the one in Stockton that I knew of. Did she say there was 2?
She said the guy was trying to expand. I don't think.
Yeah. I think he ended up just killing himself in the back room. Hung himself with dough, partially cooked dough.
Keep stretching though. So
it just not gonna work. What, he didn't die because it just kept stretching until it lowered into the ground.
And he's just like, well, I better just make this pizza because. So maybe I will say, of all the thing of the everything that this has led to, I will for sure think twice about giving Papa Murphy's a try. I just don't know that I am ever going to be in a position where, it's close enough to me that I want to do it. and that I want to wait on my pizza.
Yeah. I'm just in the same boat. And you know what? I honestly don't know that I've had Papa Murphy's pizza maybe more than once or twice in my life. So maybe I should just try it.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll be the argument that it's so fucking good that I'm like, yeah, I'll make this my goddamn self. It's so good, like, maybe I could be wrong, but
yeah.
But Ben, thank you so much for writing in. I really appreciate it. And also, if you're just fucking around, write back and tell me what crappy job you were working.
Oh yeah. And all
that.
we assume you got out of it, which that'd be nice to know too.
Yeah.
And thanks for writing in, Ben. We really appreciate it. And of course, if you want to write in for anything, you don't have to give us a full bulleted list. You could have a question about what, I don't know if we're going to answer it like, but you could have a question.
And as far as writings go, like if you're interested in what we're just talking about, why don't you send in your list of pizza places? Throw out your top 3 pizza places you like to get pizza from, and then your worst job you've ever had. Just one line. Let's see if we can put your personality together.
Yeah, we'll figure you out.
Yeah,
we'll diagnose you with any number of maladies. And that number again, 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. Well, I guess we're not going to say fuck Papa Murphy's.
No.
We'll just say fuck all places.
Yeah, fuck all places.
And we're back.
We are back. How about that?
Ben. We already thanked you, but thanks again, Ben.
Yeah, we really appreciate you writing in and just trashing me on Christmas.
That's what, we were talking about Thanksgiving earlier. That's what it's all about. Getting together and disagreeing over some petty shit.
Petty shit.
Like, well, what if a Papa Murphy's is close to you? Would you go in?
Would you go if it was just a little convenient?
those And the answer is sure. That's the most. That's I feel like that's where most family arguments get to. Is like okay, sure.
Okay. Well, what if I bought you a slice? Would you take a bite?
Yeah. They you assemble the cage in such a way that it's like, well, I might as well walk in, but I but I don't want to, but I understand that there's like spikes behind me. So sure.
You're hanging off a building, and like the only way that Papa Murphy's will pull you up is if you agree to like buy a pizza from him once a week. Would you do it? Yeah, I guess then.
Sure, maybe.
Sure,
yeah.
Sure. If I'm gonna die, then yes.
So in a fitting tribute to all holiday conversations, whether remote or otherwise, we figured we'd argue over Papa Murphy's for a while. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
For listening, watching. Some of you are watching. Some of you are watching on YouTube, and I see you. I watch the things. We've got subscribers.
Yeah.
So if you are curious about seeing the posts or just our garbage facial expressions, it's FCK This Place on YouTube.
I'm very fidgety. You can see that all on YouTube. But yeah, it's been a year where we have
didn't work out.
No, 2020 was kind of a weird, real bad year. Just a bust.
It's not going to be great. We're not like one of those people that are like, this worst year ever, right? Like, no, dude.
This is not a light switch situation.
The principle of the badness continues.
We are just, we're hoping we hit rock bottom. We're hoping we hit bone this year.
That's true. I agree.
And we can try to come back out of it. That's the best we can hope for.
I think that's extremely realistic.
But you know what? It's a year that separated us, and you still let us into your homes. And
couldn't fucking kill us.
Yeah. Couldn't stop us. Stopped jobs. Couldn't stop the pod though.
And
that's because of you guys. Just want to say that it's because of you guys.
True. If you didn't listen, we would not make this anymore.
Absolutely. Me and Chase would still talk, but we just
for sure.
We wouldn't do it over a podcast.
Yeah, no, my usual thing is if people are enjoying it, I'll keep doing it. Otherwise, I have other things I can enjoy too. It's no big deal.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how Chase will just go out in the mountains and just be so fucking happy.
I
just
wouldn't
fucking
mind it,
cutting rabbits' throats, them up, just fucking living his life.
Just roasting them on little rotisserie things that I made out of sticks.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking
put
of
a rabbit's head on a stick out there, just a warning to the other rabbits.
Speaking of just weird fucking things, there's a show called Alone, I think, on Netflix, and it's like these people try to survive the fucking Arctic for like a couple months. I only watched a couple episodes because my wife was finishing the season, but it is compelling. Speaking of like people dying in the woods.
Oh, really?
Nobody dies. It's a competition, so like they have medical checks and everything. But anyway, if you haven't watched it, and you're looking for shit, because there are multiple times I've run out of shit to watch this year. Not just shit to watch, but shit that I want to watch, that I have any interest in whatsoever. Yeah. Anyway, give it a whir. Don't know why.
I've been watching the Christmas movies that made us. Elf, talked about that. They have the Nightmare Before Christmas one, and also it's not, you don't have to, but I kind of watched I watched the Ghostbusters one as like, and that Ghostbusters feels kind of Christmassy to me. It's not.
It's just New York.
Yeah. But it always kind of feels like, oh, I could watch this movie around Christmas.
Yeah. So again, thank you everyone very much for listening. We will see you, and you will hear us. I guess we never see you, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. We just assume you're there and not like sharpening a knife or whatever while you're listening to us.
We are gonna take a couple episodes off. I don't know if it's gonna be right after this one, but like certainly as we hit the new year, we are gonna take a couple episodes off for some family time and some just not editing podcast time. But be assured that we've got episodes coming in the new year. We are going to ride out 2021 as best we can. I know it's been a fucking garbage year for a lot of people. And, at the minimum, we got more podcasts coming.
Dude, we got so many more podcasts coming. I got guests that are going to get back to me about being on.
I'm going to make some clips for TikTok. So we're psyched. And we're glad that you share this time with us. And we're glad that we share this time with you. And fuck this place.
Fuck this place. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks, everybody. As a gift to us, you could write a review. That would be nice. We will see you again on January 12th. We're taking a couple weeks off as a reminder. And again, the GoFundMe link is in the show notes. Thanks so much. Happy holidays. Bye for now. Fuck this place.